somehow that I can go back to the commission and get them to support a plan that they don't believe is in the citizens' interest. No, I do not. So again, I think that the politicians, we tried to find a balance between the sensitivity of the community's ability to pay and also at the same time the best business plan. And what frustrates me tonight is what we really got into an argument about was over 60 cents per month. So if you get a sense from this, all of City Council, by that type of endorsement, essentially supports the 86% increase that we did in 2007. So that's $14. We know that over the course of the next 5 or 6 years, we know we need to get to another $10. And what we're really arguing over is 60 cents. So council supports, $24 and whatever cents, but can't support the extra 60 cents. So there's going to be some politicians that are going to be able to walk around the community and suggest that somehow they were protecting their ability to pay and protect their pocketbooks. And I mean, that's all that they did in my estimation is put our infrastructure load further, our backlog even further. John suggested we got a $40 million backlog, so now it's a $40 million backlog and growing. But I'll tell you, I know that there's some provincial legislation that's being crafted that's actually suggests taking some of the politicians that sit on a commission or a board only reflect 1/3 of the votes. And I think when you see what happened tonight, again, you see how politics plays a part in water, and that's just a reality. And the other thing, I guess, what City Council should perhaps put forward, because of this, they should maybe talk about dissolving the commission. If City Council wants to make a decision, then perhaps the City Council should make the decision directly. What they did was they entrusted a board. They trusted strong business professionals. As I mentioned, we have the chair of the Chamber of Commerce that sits on the Windsor Utilities Commission, and they said, you know what, that's not good enough. And again, it totally contradicts what we did during the public consultation process. We went out, we told the public, and each city councillor and the mayor had an opportunity to submit their ideas and suggestions. When we went up there and said, here's the options, each one of them should have stood up at that time and said, you know what, I don't support that. And then they could have had some dialogue with their own constituents. But obviously that didn't happen. They were silent. They were silent until the 23rd hour and 59th minute, and then all of a sudden everyone wants to be saviors of people's wallets over 60 cents when they've already invested $24.40 into the system. Essentially, one of the things that we do know, which the public has to know, is the more you delay, the more it costs money later. I mean, we know that's the history of the Windsor Utilities Commission. The reality was, if we would have phased in, I mean, when you go back to the 90s, and like John said, the year 2002, 2003, 2004, when administration was coming forward asking for increases, if they were smoothed in, they could have been a lot less than what they are today, and they could have been smoothed in over a period of years. But there was delay, and tonight was just another example of that.
Why are they delaying it, though?
Well, I mean, obviously because it's going to make for a good headline in terms of, nobody likes water rates, and the reality is, for the public, I really appreciate the public that took part in the presentations. They were there for 2 hours listening to the details, and from those presentations they can make informed decisions. The reality is it's easy for most of the public, based on the information that they do know, to say, oh, you know what, just lessen my burden. But if you're going to say lessen people's burden, you got to tell them the consequences of lessening it today mean it's going to be more expensive tomorrow, which everybody knows.